Hey everybody, Rob here. It's time for a couple of new ProRevenge stories. AT&T tries to screw me over $139. I actually screw them out of $72,000. Let's jump right in. Please hit that subscribe button for more ProRevenge stories. After my wife and I got married last year, we decided that we should both get on the same phone plan. We went down to the AT&T store and met with a rep who told us we'd both be on an unlimited plan for $70 a month all in, including taxes and fees. I was very specific about getting the all-in price for the service. It seemed like a decent deal, so we signed up. 2 days later, I log into the website and see that there's already a bill for $139. I call up a rep to see what's up, and they tell me that between the activation fees, taxes, and surcharges, the bill was correct. I told them what the salesperson told me, and they basically told me to pound sand. I promptly told them I wanted to cancel the service and wanted the $139 waived. They said they could cancel the service, but could not and would not waive the bill. They also told me if I canceled immediately, my wife and I would lose our phone numbers, which is true. So I figured since I already have to pay for the month and I don't want to lose my phone number, I will just get a new carrier and cancel when I'm ready. So I do my research and find Visible, which is excellent, and we make the switch. I call back to AT&T and inform them that we have switched carriers and want to cancel the service. I again ask for a refund. The rep informs me that since I've had the service for 4 days, that I am not entitled to a refund. He tells me to read the fine print on the contract, which indeed tells me that I have 3 days to cancel for a full refund. I'm now fuming because the first CSR that I talked to on day 2 denied me a refund if I canceled. I asked for the next level of CSR and they send me to a customer care and retention person. I explain the entire fiasco to him and how I feel that I have now been lied to twice by AT&T reps, sales rep and first CSR. He is a really cool guy and apologizes and says he'll take care of it and will completely waive the bill. I am very thankful and hang up thinking that this is finally resolved. Fast forward a month and I get an AT&T bill in the mail saying my payment was not received and is now late. I again pick up the phone and call AT&T. I eventually make my way through 2 CSR reps until I get back to the customer care and retention department. This time, I did not have the chill dude. Instead, I got a very smarmy woman who said that the bill was due and I'd owe the entire amount. I asked her to please check the CSR notes and that the last guy told me he would waive the amount. She put me on a 10-minute silent hold and came back and said she'd escalate the matter to her supervisor. She said I should receive an email by the end of the week with a resolution. 2 weeks go by, no response. I call again. This time, I get a very nice lady that is sympathetic. She says she'll waive the bill. She comes back and tells me that she can't do anything because the bill has already been sent to collections. She said not to worry and that she'll send a letter to collections to have them waive the debt. I ask if this will go on my credit report and she says no, and that they'll take care of it. 6 months later, I get a letter in the mail from Sequium Asset Solutions out of Georgia trying to collect on the $139. I immediately send them a letter via certified mail demanding that they verify the debt, since it's obviously bad. I hear nothing for 2 months, and then I get an alert that I have a negative mark on my credit. I go in and sure enough, Sequium has indicated that the amount is in collections. I immediately write letters to all 3 bureaus requesting that they remove the remark. A month goes by and every single one of the bureaus removes the mark, thank God. Another 3 months go by and then I get a letter from Sunrise Credit Services in New York again trying to collect on the debt. This is truly unbelievable because it appears that Sequium couldn't verify it, so instead of apologizing and waiving the debt, they just sold it off to another collection agency. I send another certified letter to Sunrise demanding verification. I get nothing in reply. So far, they have not attempted to put a mark on my credit. That's where this part of the story ends. Who knows what will happen next? I could file a lawsuit, but the filing fee alone would be more than the amount owed. Here's the thing, I am not cash strapped. I am blessed enough that I could easily pay the $139 without making a dent in my budget. I have lost 5 times that amount in hours spent on the phone and writing letters, but I am determined to go to the mat with AT&T on principle alone. This brings us to the revenge stage. You see, in addition to my day job as an attorney, I am an elected city councilman in my town, and when I was going over our monthly expenses, I noticed that we were paying AT&T close to $6,000 a month for our phones, internet, and TV services. We're a fairly small town, so it was pretty obvious that we were being bent over by these clowns and that we could save a ton of money by switching. I started working with our city manager and IT director on finding other solutions. We discovered that by switching to various carriers and providers that we could save half. I never would have looked that closely into our telecom expense had AT&T not jerked me around. 2 weeks ago, the resolution to switch was put on our meeting agenda and the council voted to pass it. We decided to completely cut ties with AT&T. Our city is saving a ton of money, getting better service, and with the money we saved from switching, we were able to hire another part-time animal shelter employee, which we desperately needed. I highly doubt our city would have considered switching if I didn't make such a stink about it. AT&T will end up losing hundreds of thousands over the coming years because of this. I hope it was worth it, AT&T. So many stories out there of the big guy screwing the little guy. It's really nice to have the tables turned and hear about the little guy screwing the big guy. On to our next story. Say bad things about me to the owner and make me do your work, I make your life hell for 18 months. Let's jump right in. My uncle told me a crazy story of how he made his coworker's life a living hell. Now, my uncle worked in real estate for most of his life. This story takes place in 1977. Okay, so at this time my uncle was working as a real estate agent in the LA County area in the state of California. He was working there for 10 years and was the lead agent, so he had a lot of responsibility. Now, he told me that if he wanted to elevate his career further, he could have, but he was happy where he was and often turned down management roles and was content where he was. Backstory: Uncle said that in June of that year, a new hire came. We'll call him Slacker. Slacker put almost no effort into his job. He would be fine with selling a house here or there, but never put extra effort into his job. He did have prior experience, so this did help him get hired. My uncle, however, went above and beyond at his job. My uncle was the eternal bachelor type, so he was a workaholic. One day, the manager comes in and says that he's retiring. He said that there would be interviews next week to hire his replacement. Needless to say, people were talking amongst themselves. People wanted to see if they were going to apply for the job. Nice coworker says, "Hey uncle, you gonna apply for the manager's job?" "Nah, it's not really me." "Okay, that's kinda a relief. If I went against you, it would be tough." Then Slacker said, "Uncle, you better not apply for that manager's job. It's mine." "I'm not though. I'm really happy in sales." So next week comes and the interviews happen and the Slacker is made the new manager, much to everyone's displeasure. My uncle didn't think much of it and continued his work as usual. He got a call from the owner a few hours later. It was regarding him allegedly doing things that he never did, like forging reports, lying to clients, and representing the business badly. My uncle said that he has no idea about that and asked where he is getting the information from. He said that Slacker said this. My uncle quickly dispelled that, as he had witnesses and alibi on his part. The owner investigated and later apologizes for making assumptions without checking. Needless to say that my uncle was pissed because Slacker threw him under the bus for no reason. Fast forward to 1978, Slacker almost has no responsibility and he doesn't do the paperwork to be a manager. Coworkers relied on my uncle to solve problems because the slacker was useless. 3 months into 1978, and the general manager announces that he's quitting to become an executive. He announces that he is going to hire his replacement and the interviews will be next week. Nice coworker applied and slacker. Now, the final straw is when slacker asked my uncle to fill out his general manager application for him. Hey, I need you to fill out this application and have it to me by 3 days. Sorry, I can't. I have lots of work to do. I'm your boss. Fill it out. He just slammed the papers on my uncle's desk. He politely put the papers back in his office and said, "You fill it out. You're going to regret this when I become GM." After 10 months of dealing with this SOB, my uncle had enough. So he threw his hat in and applied for the general manager's job. When nice coworker found out, he explained, "I can't take it anymore." Because of my uncle's experience, he was given the job. It hurt slacker because my uncle proved he was doing slacker's paperwork for 10 months. Cue the ProRevenge. Within a week, my uncle demoted slacker and made him an agent. He also gave nice coworker the manager's job. Slacker said, "You can't do this." My uncle said, "Yes, I can." Nice coworker gave slacker all the homes that were harder to sell, which meant he was going to have to work hard in the field. Now, usually there is a good balance between good and bad homes, but uncle gave slacker the best of the worst. He said to my uncle, "I can't sell my houses, give me better ones, and the paperwork is too much." My uncle said, "Figure it out, fill it out." Fast forward to 1979, slacker has the worst sales in the entire company. He even had to sell his car and get a cheaper one because of it. He also had to sell his house at a loss and move into a condo. Slacker asks for a raise and uncle says, "I'm your boss, just do the effing paperwork." Slacker gets to a point where he is only living on his yearly salary, not commissions. My uncle said, "I'm gonna charge that douche for my past labor plus interest." Fast forward to September of 1980. Slacker talked to the owner and said my uncle was being unfair to him. Uncle plays dumb and says, "Mr. Owner, this isn't the case. I have given slacker multiple properties and he isn't selling them. How can I be accountable for his shortcomings as a salesman?" The owner agrees with my uncle and ignored the future pleas of slacker as he had proof that he was offering him properties to sell. Slacker is defeated. He asks to be transferred to another office as he isn't making progress. He agrees, but doesn't give him a good reference. He was fired 2 months later for 3 weeks of unfinished paperwork. After my uncle defeated slacker, he went back to his old job and gave the general manager's job to nice coworker. If you're wondering what happened to slacker, he ended up getting a job selling tires by the I-5 freeway. My uncle didn't see much of him after that. One thing that really surprises me with this story is how he was able to last 10 months in the manager's position if he wasn't doing any paperwork. One thing I absolutely love though is when uncle tossed his hat in for the general manager's job and then got rid of the slacker altogether. Way to go, well done. I want to thank both OPs for posting their stories to the ProRevenge subreddit. You can visit them at the links in the description below. Please go there and give them an upvote. Once again, this is Rob from Karma Comment Chameleon saying thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please hit that subscribe button, drop a like, and share it with your friends. And we'll see you in the next one.